Hi, how you doing? I'm coming on a little bit live early today to sort of get my thoughts together. How you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. I really do. I really do. I hope you guys are doing great. Yeah, I'm just trying to get myself together here. Well, it's 1:30. I'm on time. And just wait for a few of you guys to come in. I do want to make this announcement. I am having a raffle or drawing because I didn't sell tickets, not this time, but having a drawing for a free class with our guest today. And our guest today is an awesome illustrator. Woody Aviyah. And when we get started, Woody will, hopefully we got it together this time and he'll be on with me live today, but we will have a drawing for one person to have a free class with Woody Aviyah on his Drop Dead Gorgeous drawing platform. And just looking forward to that. I believe it's a good class, and I'm happy to be able to offer that to my viewers. And if you're looking at this in the replay, in the comment section, I want you to just type hashtag replay and put your hi, Garland. Put your information down so we can put you in the free drawing. Hi, Jackie. How you guys doing? Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. I was just sharing about today we had a guest. Hi, here he is, Woody. Woody's drawing. Woody's my special guest today. And I was telling you guys live and on the replay that we are going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a drawing for a free class with Woody is Drawing, Drop Dead Gorgeous, and I think you should be excited about that. So we're going to have a drawing, and the winner will be announced Friday because I need to give my replay viewers an opportunity to also put their information in so that they can be in the drawing too. Okay, all right, wow. So we're going to get started. It's about 1:32. Woody is on the line here. And please, you guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments so that, Woody can answer any questions that you have. And also for replay, write your questions down. Hi. And put your questions down and we'll make sure that Woody gets them, but make sure you get in the free drawing, the drawing for the free class with Woody Aviyah. Okay, so I'm going to invite Woody on now. Let's see here. You know how it goes, guys. Oh, let's see here. All right. All right, I invited Woody in. I'm so glad you guys could make it. And like I said, the replay viewership is doing very good. I'm really, really grateful for that. And we also replay on Facebook also too. So that's why I'm giving the drawing an extra day for replays so that if they want to get in the drawing for the free class, they can get in too. Okay, Woody, I sent you an invite for you to jump on. Let's see here. Let me send it again. Invite Woody. Okay. So I sent you an invite. And I see Garland, you're just showing out. You are really just showing out. Want to have you back on too one day and you could just share with us. Well, Woody, I tell you what, why don't you request to come on live? If my invite is not working properly, then request to come on live and Yeah. Okay, here's something here. Okay. All right, here we are. He'll be on in a second. And don't forget, we're still having the charcoal class. And we're going to get some people in for a master class also. Um, that should be really exciting. That should be really exciting. So there good things are happening here with the self-taught artists gallery, and it's just excited. It's exciting. Hi, Woody. I invited you again. Do we need to try it again? Or you? Let's see. He's trying to come on. He's trying to get there, guys. He's trying to get on here. Let's see. Let's do it again. Okay, just take your time, Woody. You'll get on. You'll get on. I'll keep looking and talking and trying. Okay, okay. Okay. I get this. When I click your invite, it doesn't let me in. Okay, let's see here. I hit accept because sometimes I think when I have guests on, sometimes my link doesn't work, and so they request to come on, and I accept their request. So Woody, try requesting. I'm gonna log out of Insta and try again. Okay, but request me to come on. There you go. Yeah, there you are.
That what?
Yeah, you got it. You made it.
How you doing?
Good. How are
Very
you?
well, Aviyah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I managed to get on.
You look different. You've done something different to yourself.
I don't know. I've got these reading glasses on. They're a little bit different. They got like a sort of red tint to them,
Uh-huh.
so they're not my usual style. So maybe.
They look nice. They look
Oh, thank
nice.
you, thank
Yes, yes. Well, as you see, I did announce we were going to have the drawing for a free class with you. And I know you do 101s too, right?
I do, yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
And also the Drop Dead Gorgeous drawing. So it'll be one of those guys. And you know now the dollar I think is a little weaker than the British pound right now. So guys, this is a real deal. If anybody wants to give you an opportunity, and you don't have to pay for it, don't forget to get into that drawing. And I speak this to my replay of viewers also. Do not forget to log in and get that replay and get in the raffle for the free class with Woody. It is a live class. It is live from London. And you'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it, and you will learn something too. So it's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
So, Woody, what is going on? Tell us
Uh,
some good things.
yeah. How are you, Aviyah? Hope
Good,
you're well.
good. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of exhibit art. So,
Okay. Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm happy about that. I've been getting into some exhibits.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been drawing a lot. I've been doing my market stall. That's been one of the main things I've been doing. So I've been drawing portraits of people on canvas tote bags. I can't remember when I last spoke to you whether I was doing that then. Was it about a year
It
ago
was
or 2
about
years? I can't.
a year ago. About a
Okay,
year ago.
maybe
Yeah, it
that was when
was.
I just started. So I've been doing that all the time,
Wow.
and we've got some nice weather in the UK at the moment, so that's happening quite a lot. I'm out there on the street in my pop-up art studio, and I'm just drawing people on tote bags and sometimes on canvas pencil cases, and
Wow.
sometimes on paper as well. You forget about the paper when you draw on the bag all the time. You forget about drawing on paper.
Right,
Um,
right.
so yeah, I've been doing that and drawing people live. Also drawing people from photographs, and it's keeping me busy. I've been doing a lot of sketching and drawing, and when I'm not doing the portraits, I've been doing like little designs and stuff that I've been that tourists like to buy. So yeah, that's been keeping me busy really at the
That's
moment.
good. That's really good. So you have found a niche in that marketing arena of that particular place, time, and scene, and you got out there, and you've been doing it now a year, a little over a year.
I think, yeah, I've done it. I
I
think
think so.
almost 2 years since I started doing it occasionally, and then I've been doing. That was just doing it on the weekend, and it was first just the drawings on paper, then it was
Uh,
the bags, and then it's doing it more often. So yeah, it's built up over the last 2 years,
Wonderful.
and yeah, it's been a fun sort of, as you say, niche or niche. It was we say in
Yeah,
the UK. It's
yeah, niche. That
you
sounds
say
good too. It looks like niche.
say tomato, we say tomato. Yeah, yeah, it's been going well. So that, and I'm also trying to get into. I think I was saying this to you last year. So, as you know, I've been trying to get into the live event illustration arena. You know, doing private bookings and stuff as an event illustrator. So that's been taking off a bit slowly, but been some cool stuff in that field.
Awesome. Now you did get in a wedding. I think you did. Have you done the wedding
I
already?
did do one, yeah. I did one recently,
How did
yeah.
that go?
That was
Tell us about that.
good. It was good, Aviyah. Yeah, really good, enjoyable, satisfying, fulfilling, and very putting my skills to the test. But really, because there's a lot of you sort of lay your skills bare, and you realise what you need to brush up on, and how you've got
Yes.
to build up your speed and work on those techniques for drawing people faster.
Yes. Now I'm going to ask you about some of that today because speed, timing is very important for artists. And I have found myself since I have been doing exhibits, I have had to really get down to business. You know, I can't. I was one of these laid back artists. You know, it's like okay, you know, and work on 100 things at one time, but that doesn't always work out very well. So now, when it comes to speed, this is a question I want to ask you about doing your portraits.
Yeah,
What are the things that you look at when you see an individual? What is it of that individual you look to capture that makes it definitely uniquely that person without getting into all the drowning details? What is it you look for? How do you do that?
that's a good question, and I'm constantly asking myself that. Um, yeah, still trying to work it out. But I always go for drawing the face first because I like to get a facial resemblance. And I feel if you get the facial resemblance, then you can continue with the drawing. Some approaches to drawing, you might draw the face last, maybe in a life drawing scenario. But in a live portrait, you want to work out you're going to get the face right before doing it. Before otherwise before progressing the drawing.
Right.
So I guess I'm trying to be formulaic about it, although formulaic, but whilst being spontaneous. And I always start with an eye. I
With the
always start,
eyes.
yeah. And with the fashion illustration style, there's often some people will often draw one eye. It's a bit of a fashion illustration thing. I mean, I have done that in the past, but I usually draw two eyes. But sometimes people are a bit thrown by that. They're like, why haven't you drawn my other eye? You know, it's a stylistic thing. But yeah, I do the one eye, and yeah, that's the they say that eye is the window to the
Yes.
soul. So
Yes.
you want to
Yes.
try and get some get some likeness in the eye, and
So the eye is the thing. If a person as a tip, you want to start with the eyes.
well, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a tip because
Uh,
yeah, I think a
it's
lot of people
important
do.
because I'm gonna tell you, I see your market work, you know, your live work illustrations, and when the people are usually standing there that you have just drawn and they're holding their bags, and it's like, wow, you captured the soul and the image of that person that quickly.
I hope so, Avia. I mean, the ones I post online, they're probably like the better drawings, so there might be a few others where it doesn't look as much like them, and I'm posting the people that have the best reactions,
Yes.
and you get the people that really, they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing," and that's what you want to hit every time. But a lot of the time you get, oh, that's cute, that's sweet, that's still a nice compliment. That's still good. But it's, and then you get people like a little bit confused, and they're like, okay, um,
Now, do you ask for people to compensate you before or after?
oh, definitely before. I mean, no, if they're standing there live, it's afterwards.
Uh-huh.
I have to confess, there's a lot of them are done from photos as well, which is a big thing. Like I want to do them all live, but some situations you're going to be doing photos. I found this at the wedding I did recently.
Uh-huh.
Um, some people don't stand still. You have groups of
Yeah.
people they don't want to stand still, and you're working from photos anyway. I mean, at the market, people ask you to draw their pets as well, so that's going to be from a photo. So you end up doing a lot of photos, and also if you've got a queue of people and you're drawing from a photo, it's easier to break your flow and take an order from another customer and then take a photo. So then you've got, like, 5 photos you've got to draw in the next however short a time. And so yeah, so it is very nice to draw people live, and I find when I do that, it gets more of a crowd around, and it's more, you
Yes.
feel you're
Yes.
doing what you're supposed to be doing, but they're not all live.
Well, it looks great. And like I said, you've been doing it a while. So I like that tip because for some of us, I know for me, I have been so detailed, but I have learned that the brain fills in a lot. We don't have to do everything. As artists, it's the way, your layout. And if there's a hand behind here or this is turned or whatever, the brain sort of sees it anyway, whether you got it there or
Yeah.
not, there's an understanding. So I think that's phenomenal. And I look at some of your pictures, you capture the hair and the smile. I see the hair, the smile, and the eyes
Okay.
first, and
That's
I know
nice.
that's that person.
Yeah. I mean, I find when I do stylize them, so and I tend to prefer drawing like the sort of more feminine female sort of looks more. So there's exaggeration of like giving them eyelashes and making, doing that sort of fashion eye, and doing the lips, giving them maybe a bit more of a pout.
Uh huh.
So there's those exaggerations, and then with the hair, trying to make it look, because people often will say, "Oh, can you make my hair? I didn't brush my hair. Can you make it look like,
Really,
you know,
that is
like to come out of a
interesting.
salon?" And so
Yeah.
you trying to, and I find with all these things, if maybe one of the things goes wrong, you'll try and maybe if you've got one feature wrong, you think, right, I'm gonna redeem this image. I'm gonna draw her hair really nicely. Um, because I didn't draw her, I didn't get her
Right.
expression right. So I'm going
Right.
to try and do her hair really nicely. So I find there's a certain balance of amount of things that you want to go right in a
Uh
picture. I mean,
huh.
sometimes we start again, don't we, Avia? We sort of tear it up and start again. But how many times one does that in a life situation? You don't want to do that too much. I
Right.
have done it,
Right. Right.
but you want to avoid it. Quite often you're on this sort of borderline of, shall I scrap this picture and start again?
Mm-hmm.
But just
Mm-hmm.
go with it,
Right.
and that's
Right. Well, I like that. Thank you for that information. That was really good, and I hope you guys, understood all of that when you're sketching fast. And it's true, you want to catch the eye if you're doing a live sketching, drawing, or whatever. You want to capture the eyes, and then for me, once you get the eyes, it's sort of like you say the silhouette of the person. the hair and you just go on from there, and the smile. But you like the smile. The face is important.
Yeah,
I think that's the main part, the face.
I think so.
But well, you've stuck with it. You've stuck with it. That's wonderful, and that's the key to doing things like that. Um, if you're there at that market, how often do you go?
Um,
Do you go every
well,
weekend
it's
or?
quite weather dependent. So I go every Saturday, quite often Friday, and then I'll only really go on the other days if it's really sunny. Because in the UK it can be pretty rainy, and people are just, it's not like
Right, right,
it's it can be a bit grey and dull, so people don't always go. But when it's really sunny like it is now, I'll do it a lot more. But maybe like three, maybe like 4 times in the whole week if it's a nice weather. Um,
wow. Well,
yeah,
that's
I haven't
cool.
I haven't done it like 6 or 7 days running because I mean I guess you can do it, but I find it's quite tiring, isn't it? So it's
Well, it is, and people know you've become almost a fixture. You know how people
I
go
hope
to their
so.
favorite stand of fruit, their favorite farmer, or their favorite store in the market or vendor, whatever. But now you've become a part of the scene
I
there,
hope
and
so.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
have, and that's good. That's the good thing about doing that. I've seen people do it. I haven't seen the market here because here we don't have the markets
yeah,
like
yeah.
yours. But I've seen people do sketches in the malls, and
Okay.
they're pretty good. I don't see as many doing that now, though. Don't see as many people doing that now. And I have seen it in clubs at live
Oh,
performances or
that
something.
sounds cool.
Artists
Yeah,
will be over on the side, and maybe they will be inspired by a song,
yeah.
and they will, or pour it or whatever, and they will create according to what they feel in here.
Mm.
So that's really neat. That's cool. Another thing I wanted to ask you, Woody, and that is with your drop dead gorgeous drawing platform. I think it's awesome. And you get people from all over the world on that platform. Guys, that's why I'm telling you it's awesome. Hope you win. Hope you win. But you will enjoy. You have some very, very interesting models. Very interesting models. Now, how do you find your models
Um,
for your platform?
yeah, I mean, I think now because it's been going for some time, there's a lot of models that we have regularly. So
Okay.
um, it tends to be, I mean, there's still quite a lot of different ones, but there's certain core models that always sort of we do sessions with, and then I find usually it's based on like what theme is going to be, and it's always like a challenge to think of more themes. I mean,
Mhm.
so there's a lot of themes get reused in online drawing that are popular, um, but it's always trying to find like a new theme and stuff. So at the moment, because I've been quite busy with other stuff, I haven't had as much time to think about what different themes and stuff. But a lot of the
Mhm.
models have really good sort of suggestions, and
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, yeah,
Well,
um,
that's awesome. I love the way you talk during your class. It's just a really nice community feel on your drawings, and everybody gets to show what they do, and you just see different people in different uh stems of their growth. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it's beautiful. And I think you're one of the few platforms, if not the only one, that I felt so free to show what I had done. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah, because it's not that pressure there. Oh, look at everybody. They look so far ahead of me. Oh, I did. No, it's just a free, and I like that. That's a wonderful, beautiful
I mean,
platform. Beautiful.
I'm always I do. Sometimes I have to hold back from encouraging people to show their work because I'm always like stopping the class to get and asking people to put their camera on, show their work. And I know some people they like to do this at the end, just at the end of the session,
Right.
and I'm asking them at the beginning of the session, the middle of the session, and the end of it to show their work. And yeah, I think that's just what I just that what I find that's what I find so inspiring, seeing all these different artists. When you have one inspiration and then you see several different artists, how
Separate,
they
different.
interpret
Yes.
that, and it's really I always find that quite interesting as an artist to see the different approaches that people have, and you look forward to seeing people certain people's work, and you think, oh, how's this artist gonna approach this, and you, you
Yes.
start to look forward to seeing what techniques, different artists have
Yes.
different techniques, and you start to think,
Yes.
oh, I can't wait to see their interpretation of it. And yeah,
That's awesome. Now, are you still doing your master classes?
I am. Yeah, there haven't been as many. Like, I mean, it hasn't been as frequent, but we have got one coming up. Funny enough, and I'm not going to announce the artist because I haven't announced it on the.
Oh,
I'm going to
right.
announce that
Right.
probably in the next couple of days. So they are continuing, and I think they're a direction that I want to do more of in the session, because I feel it's a really interesting part of the platform, and I've wanted to sort of take it further, but
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's harder to get the artists. I mean, I want to get lots of different artists, and
Right.
sometimes I don't even approach all the artists I want to have on there, because sometimes I want to ask people, and then I just think, oh, how am I going to ask them?
Right.
And I sort of, save it until, some people don't really want to do master classes, and they don't teach or showcase their drawing. They're not as sort of
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
sort of people watching them draw. But there's still some really cool people that I'm trying to get on there, and
Yeah.
there's
I
some
learned
good
a
ones
lot.
lined up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I learned a lot from well, just drawing, the live drawing with you. And I was on there like every time you have one for, a season till things got busy for me, but I still
yeah,
subscribe and I'm still there. I see who you got.
yeah,
And it's just awesome. But you had one particular master class, and it was a gentleman from, I thought he was Russian.
yeah.
I,
I think he was. Yeah,
yeah,
uh,
when he started with the outline of the models, that really did something for me. Because see, I learned a very uh big thing about getting your work laid out, and that is shapes,
yes,
seeing shapes in the images that you're drawing. And
yeah.
as I look back and I remember how he did those outlines
That
of the light, I was like, he was really doing shapes.
that
He
is
was doing,
amazing. Yeah, that was
yeah,
an artist called Maxim Sergeev. Um, he's amazing, and yeah, I really liked his masterclass, because I mean, he does these stunning works that are very opulent and very sort of glamorous, and they've got lots of paint and quite detailed. And yeah, just seeing how he approaches it with this line work approach, it was really interesting. I think because I like line work, and
yes.
it was just
I
seeing
had
how
to
he
learn
takes it
line
from
work.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, how he takes it from that to the really finished piece with all the paint is just quite inspiring to sort of encourage you, because
yes,
sometimes with line work you just stop at the line work. I do that a lot, and then it's just showing you how, if you stick with that process, you can get these really stunning masterpieces.
yeah,
um
yeah.
so
Wow.
yeah,
Now,
I've taught, yeah, sorry,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I've taught a few of the master classes myself now.
I was in one of yours, wasn't I? I
You may
believe.
well have been.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think you may
sure.
have
I
been.
sure
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, they're quite. I was looking back at some of them, and that's quite a pressured thing because even though I'm used to drawing in front of people, when it's being recorded and you want it to be your best drawing,
Right.
but you can't always predict it. So that's a bit more pressured. I need to do more of them, and I'm planning on doing more of them.
Good. Good. Now I noticed you the one-on-one. You're doing one-on-one drawing classes now.
When you say one-on-one, oh yeah,
Just
one-on-one,
just
yeah.
you and another person, or you and
Well, it's something that I've sort of launched it as an offer. As I've launched that as an offer. So, but I'm thinking at the moment I might take that thing that I was offering, which was the sort of live sketching thing.
uh-huh.
I might try and do it as a group thing. I mean, I've done it as a group session, but I might
Yes.
try and do it as maybe a structured course, but for like a small group.
That's awesome.
Over like 4 weeks or something. So I'm
Right.
still looking at different formats for courses and
Good.
stuff.
Good.
And I've got a few different things that I've put on the back burner. I mean, there was the drawing the decades, which
Uh-huh.
I think I did two of them, and I was drawing. I mean, it wasn't really based on technique so much, although I was doing drawing demos, but it was based on
Yeah.
fashion and
Okay.
different eras.
Okay.
But I've got all the other decades that I want to do. Like I think we did 1900s and 1910s. So there's the 1920s, 30s, and all those fabulous fashion eras
Oh,
um,
wow.
that
Yes.
I'm going to brush up on and hopefully do them this year. So there's quite a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So it's just we'll see which ones
Well, you keep
get
us
launched.
posted
So,
now. You know,
yeah,
you let us know what you're doing, and I'll repost your stuff, and I'll be popping in myself. Look, I have bought classes, and what is another thing, guys? If you um make Woody's platform something of your regular day in your art world, picking up working on your skills. I'm big on really working on your skills as an artist. You need to work on your skills. I don't think there's ever a point when you say, oh, I got it, I got it. It's always something to learn. It's always something to perfect. It's always something to admire and bring that into your own work, but in your own way. So techniques are very, very important. And I cannot stress the need to how can I say it, conversate, to integrate, to mingle with other artists. It's important. You learn so much that way. um how long have you been drawing with how long have you been an artist?
I mean, I've been an artist since I was a kid. I've been drawing. So yeah, always had that interest and passion for drawing. And I'm just sort of lucky that I've kept it going, although
Yes.
I've
Yes.
had those periods where I haven't done it. So fortunately, I've sort of seen enough of a pattern over the time to recognise that it's something that I want to do more often and more consciously try and cultivate the practice.
Right.
I think
Right.
we've all had phases where I mean, when I was younger, when I didn't draw as much, but as you say, we yeah,
Yeah.
as we
No,
get
that
wise to it,
yeah,
we cultivate a practice
that's
period.
good. That's good. I tell you, most some people have always wanted to draw, and I think drawing is something that can, in a way, be taught. Also, um. So, what advice would you give for someone who wants to? 'Cause this is something I'm backing up here. I notice a lot of people, sometimes artists, they want to start out painting, because I've learned some people can paint but they can't draw. Some
Yeah,
people can draw but they can't paint. And I'm going to be honest, painting is something that I really have to focus on. I love charcoal. I love drawing. What advice would you give to a person to help a person to get started? Would you advise them to start with drawing first, sketching?
Well, that's a tricky one because I've had a lot of people tell me, especially recently, saying, "Oh, you're always drawing. You should paint." Like, oh, have you thought of painting? I get that quite a lot, and I've always had at the back of my head that, you know, whether it's a true belief, but there is this idea that drawing is a preliminary step to painting, and
Hmm.
painting is the main event. I see some painters that I really admire. And some of them do a very sort of, you know, there's one guy, I can't actually remember their name, on Instagram, a little bit like Norman Rockwell,
Hmm.
all these sort of
Hmm.
figures and stuff, and they're just very lavishly painted. I will find the name and mention it again, but
Now, Norman Rockwell, he drew his images and then he painted.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm
I'm
not
not
sure.
either.
I
I'm not
just,
either.
yeah, I just sort of brought that up because I just, as a painter, that I sort of really like the sort of, yeah, I guess it could be lots of any painter really, but I, yeah, I really part of me thinks you know, I'm gonna do more painting, but even when I sometimes I get a canvas and I'll just start drawing a line with a pencil or pen, and part of me thinks that's my style, and maybe I'm just a drawing person
Well,
rather than
I know I
a
am
painting
too. I'm like
person.
that because when I started doing watercolors, and you know, my drawings, my sketchings were under my watercolors, you know, because I wasn't doing gouache to make it thicker or anything like that. But some some people who like art, who like to buy art, who like to look at art, whatever.
Yeah.
Some people actually love to see watercolors with the drawing
Yeah,
underneath the
I
watercolors.
certainly
And
do.
I just think that's beautiful when
I
that's
certainly do. Yeah,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
So
like
yeah,
to see the workings out of the draw of the painting and the drawing, and yeah, I like the sketchy stuff and seeing what they've done in the studio rather than just seeing the finished piece. I
right,
always find
right.
that interesting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, if you have any, well, do you have any words you want to drop to any of us in this time to encourage us and you know, and helping us go further, you know, bring our gifts up, you know,
Yeah,
anything, yeah.
I think that people should do your thing. You know, you've got the thing that you want to do. That's telling you something that you've got to do it. And if you're loving drawing, not paint more than painting, then draw. But always try and you know, always try and do these other things as well. Or you know, try and do a bit of painting. But then if you keep going back to drawing, then keep drawing because
Right,
that's gonna be your style. That's gonna be what your calling is in any art really. There's going to be something that draws you back to it, and I think it's good to listen to that and focus on that.
yes,
But
yes.
every now and again, shake it up and force yourself out of your comfort zone and try and do something completely different. But don't get hung up on it. You know, don't feel like a failure if you try a different method and you find it hard. I always see those drawing courses where they tell you to measure everything and this is this proportion and there's this
Oh
many heads in
man,
the body
yeah,
and then this part. And I find like sometimes it's good to do that and try and draw like that. But if it makes you not enjoy drawing because you're getting stuck on working out these rules, then it's you just got to relax and just do it by eye.
right,
And
right,
I find, Avia, that we do pick up these rules over the years. You might get certain things that you look for when you're drawing a person. You might certain relationships to do with proportions that you'll start looking for, and that'll be your set of things that you look for, and we'll all have a different focus on that. You know what we
you know,
concentrate on.
proportions are very important. I'm going to tell you, I started a painting some years ago. What this is a true story, and my proportions were the hands, and the hands were so big, but I kept on working like that, and I found it to be a pretty unique style. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? It's like, hey, this is pretty cool. you know. So sometimes um, the things that we don't like, because I did read once that, and there's some famous paintings, what the artist considered a mistake or something they
yeah,
wanted different. That was the main thing about that particular painting that made it rare
yeah.
because of that mistake. And so, yeah, yeah, that's a good advice. That's good advice. That's it. That's it. Just be yourself, do your thing. Don't compare your work to other people, because if you do that, you might not paint anymore or draw. I know. But for me, I I I do. I love to look at other people's art, but I don't compete with other people. I try and compete with myself. It's like I like to look back
Yeah.
and see my growth, where I've grown.
I must say though, there are some artists that, I mean, it's hard when you look at certain artists you like and you think, how do they do that? I want to try. I want to do that.
Absolutely. And that's healthy. That's healthy. I think
Yeah,
that's healthy. Yeah.
thank-
Yeah.
yeah,
Wonderful. Well, now, so I do want to ask this question. I'm going to backtrack to the wedding.
okay,
Did you were set up at the
yeah.
wedding, or were you just catching free
Uh,
scenes?
because it was a like a, I was set up. I was set up in a spot and I was doing some live posing. And then I was doing some photographs as people were getting more into like dancing. I did want to do some scenes, but I didn't have the confidence because, I mean, I do draw scenes, but I didn't. I was felt a bit lacking in confidence because when I'm much more used to doing portraits, a figurative
Mm-hmm.
portrait, and
Mm-hmm.
the scenes were a bit daunting because you got all the what's it called? All the location and the background, and um, yeah, I'm going to be more adventurous with that next time.
Right.
I have
Now,
done some good scenes. I've done some good scenes and backgrounds, but that's something that I'm a bit more sort of, going to looking to get experience with that.
yes,
So yeah, but I think that would be good as well to do some just observational ones of people dancing or you know
that's good. That's good. That's wonderful. You use the term figurative portraits.
yeah.
So that is what you call that's the term for what you do.
I'm,
Figurative portrait.
yeah, I mean, I will draw people's heads like I will do a head portrait, but I always like drawing the figure and what people are wearing, their body language, their pose. I feel it just tells more. It's just more fun, really. I find when you just focus in on the head, it to me that makes me think of a more academic and traditional type of portrait. Whereas when I
Uh-huh.
think it's figurative, I see it as more an illustration, and it's got a bit more of a story. Um,
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it
No.
is a challenge sometimes because, I mean, if someone's got a really interesting outfit, then that's quite fun. But if someone's just wearing like a very sort of neutral sort of thing, maybe they're just wearing like a jacket, like a, when I do the market more because people aren't dressed up, so you might just get someone they're not really dressed up. So it is when it with those ones, sometimes it is more of a challenge to make the picture
Okay.
look interesting if they're not like dressed up to the nines. But if they're just sort of dressed to party, and you can have some fun with what they're wearing, their accessories, how they've done their hair, their makeup, because that's all you know they like to see that back. They put that effort into how they look, and then you're sort of celebrating that in a portrait. I think that's. adds a lot of fun to the
Yeah,
performance.
yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And we try to talk about different ways for the artists here because I know we have sculptors here. Tracy's a sculptor, and she does a myriad of things. She does many things. Sculpts, she sews, she does a lot of things. She paints, and Garland was on earlier. He's another. He sculpts, he paints, and then we had Bernard on here, and we have Jackie, and they are painters, and just a different. I don't know what everybody does, but we're all creators in something, and I love the fact it's like a sculptor can't go to a market and sculpt. But I like the fact that you said well, they could, but you know what I'm saying, and give it to someone right away. But I like the fact that you take photos, and then later on, from those live photos, your own photos, you can go back and you can create art or whatever, even sculpt, guys, from that photo that you just took. And I like that. Had never thought about that. Just take photos. I mean, I've thought about taking photos, and you come back, but that's a really neat thing, though.
Yeah,
That's really neat.
I mean, it is sometimes being in the moment does help. Having some sort of time pressure to do it, like so when either the person, if they are posing for you, you've got the time pressure. But then even if you're doing it from a photo, but you're at an event and you've got a lot of other people to draw, that gives a time pressure, and I think that helps. It is. I do find it harder if you come back from an event and you've got some photos and you want to do it afterwards. I find that a bit more pressured because you've got
Ah,
more time. You're in your
uh-huh.
studio or at home, and you've got this time where you can start thinking and being a
Oh,
perfectionist and
right, right.
second guessing everything. When
Oh,
you're on the
God.
spot, you have to sometimes make decisions where
Mm-hmm,
you're
mm-hmm.
not sure if it's going to work, and you just have to go with it.
Wow. Have you
I
ever
like
done
that.
something and it didn't work?
Oh yeah, frequently, frequently, all the time.
What do you do when that
Oh
happens? Woody, do you? Oh, I got a question
yeah,
here.
yeah,
From Tracy. She says, Woody,
yeah.
do you give yourself a time frame to do each painting?
I should do. I should do. I always tell the person that it's going to take this amount of time, and then I lose track of time. No, I really need to work on that because I've some drawings I just take too long. Um, but that's when sometimes it's going well and it's a good drawing, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a good one. But then you might spend. I mean, I really with us at an event, I'd like to say 10 minutes for one person and like maybe 15 minutes for a couple. But to be honest, it's quite often 15 minutes for one person, maybe 25 for a couple. There's ones where I've spent even longer, and
Uh-huh.
I'm really trying to speed that up. I'm
Right,
saying to
right, right.
myself, oh my, I mean, sometimes you draw people in groups, so maybe I'm being hard on myself. Sometimes someone will ask you to draw a photo and it's like 4 or 5 people. So yeah, I guess that does take longer. Um,
Do you get a lot of groups?
well, I was at the wedding and people were asking me to do groups,
Oh,
and
wow.
because they're all together, and I didn't want to say, oh no, can I just draw you guys, because they're a group event, and but yes, there was a lot of group ones, and some of them are really nice to draw. But yeah, it adds time onto the thing. So I guess yeah,
Well, yeah. Tracy said that's high, Pam. Tracy said that's really quick. She said, and it is. That's good time. That's pretty fast. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Oh
so
wow.
I'm constantly trying to speed up, have you? And I'm looking at some other artists that use different tools, and I'm like looking at using different tools that can help you speed up. I know some artists that do more brush work,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot quicker on the clothes if someone's wearing a dress or a gown, and you sort of do it all as one sort of flourish.
Wow,
That
yeah.
that's going to be quicker. So I think because I work in ink pen quite a lot, I'm sort of making myself take a bit longer
Okay,
because I
okay.
get I don't know, I just get sucked into doing details. As you
That-
said, that's that's something we're trying to
You,
always
you,
sort of
you,
resist.
you know, the ink sort of gets you in a, to me, it's so permanent. That was my problem when I first started, drawing with ink and stuff. It was like, oh God, I can't erase. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
the ink says, "Hey, you're committed," so you got to think. If it doesn't look like you got to work that thing out. And but that's cool though. But that is fast. That's fast. Have you ever done the modeling illustration thing? You ever done any of that? How can I say it? Runway modeling or
I
anything like that?
I did. I think it was Men's Fashion Week in 2019 or something. But that sometimes you get some shows where it's like a static show and the models are wearing the collection, but they're standing still for a lot, 5 minutes. So I love those shows, and I
Oh,
think
that is
most
nice.
illustrators, when they're not that common, but when you get a show like that, that's just great, and I really enjoyed drawing those ones. But yeah, I was doing a recent one at a fashion house invited me to come and draw their collection,
Hmm.
and these models were walking along, and you know, they were just there, they were just walking down down the place and just turning around, and you can't draw a figure like in that amount of time. So I had on my paper a load of sort of gestural marks, and someone said to me, "Oh, I love your drawings, they're very abstract." And I was just thinking, yeah, that it's sort of impossible to draw a figure on a catwalk, or maybe it isn't. I know some artists are very good at suggesting that sort of walking, that fashion walking down the catwalk. It's a good sort of pose to get to learn to draw off the top of your head. Sort of
Yeah.
walking towards
Yes.
you,
Yes. Top of
sashaying
your head.
down
Yeah.
the runway, sort of walking. But yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It's
To
hard. It's hard. I there was a female fashion illustrator, and she was back in the day, with when you had the big names, and they were all living then. Oh gosh, I can't think of some of the bigger names of fashion designers. Um, Lagerfeld. You had
yeah,
she was back there in that, I call it the golden era.
yeah,
Chanel had just, and then you had Dior and all of these other people, and they were all living at one time. At one
yeah,
time, most of those big houses, the founders were still living and still doing their thing.
yeah.
And she was doing, because she's not a young woman, she's aged, but
Is it
she will
Gladys?
do it.
Is it Gladys? Gladys
Yeah,
Tarrant Palmer.
that's who it is. That's
Okay.
who she is. And I've taken a couple of her master
Yeah,
classes.
same here. Yeah,
Oh man, she's awesome.
she's
And
great.
the thing is though, it's like they didn't have anything back there. They had to really,
Oh,
really.
yeah. They didn't have
Oh,
iPhones and all that stuff, did they? So they were just documenting it. Mm,
exactly. Wow. And then they had to have that stuff ready to give it to a press.
I know,
So it
that's
could be,
crazy. I mean,
yeah,
that's why I love those. I love that era for drawing.
yeah, yeah.
Really.
That was wow. And now I've heard, since all of that, there was an artist who did fashion illustration, and he said it kind of went down, that it sort of went down for a while. It really did. It
Yeah,
disappeared,
good.
for a while with the cameras and stuff. But
Yeah.
he felt that it was because a lot of the artists were not catching the
Okay.
garments. They were getting the attitude, the swing, the lay of the model,
Yeah.
and everything. But the garments were not being seen.
Mm,
And that was the thing with Gladys in her day. they did all of that, but you could tell that garment. It was like, whoa, that's a beautiful look.
Yeah,
And it's just a sketch.
yeah,
But that was the thing. So that was very challenging. So that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing to get that timing. 10-15 minutes is really really good. So what is? Are there any other things you want to share with us? Some more sage advice you want to leave with us?
um, yeah. I mean, just keep on drawing. Find the way that you can keep on drawing the things that the pursuits that help you to do it. Because we have to get into our different grooves, don't we? We find different scenarios where that allow us to keep drawing, whether it's drawing classes or doing live events or keeping a drawing diary, whatever it is that helps you to just keep doing it. Yeah, just keep on
Just
drawing,
keep
really.
going. Keep doing it.
I'm
Well,
telling
guys,
myself that now, yeah.
you got tell yourself that. Well, yeah, we do. We have to encourage ourselves. I think that's the greatest encouragement. But you've dropped a lot of golden nuggets with us here today, and really appreciate your coming. And we got to have you back again. But
Thank you, yeah.
congratulations on the year at the
Oh,
market and stuff. That is awesome. Like I said, you've become a fixture. And people, I know there are people that look for you. There are people that are already saying, I want to get that done one day, when I got time, type of thing, like that. So congratulations with that and with all the other things that you're doing and
thank
your classes. Yeah. Yeah.
thank you
So
so much. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come and chat to you.
oh yes, I've enjoyed it. And don't forget guys, we're going to have the drawing for the free drawing class with Woody, and that will be held on Friday because, as
Okay.
I said, I thank you, viewers that watch the replay, really great numbers. And make sure when you watch the replay, pound replay in the comments. So I know that you watched it. And we'll just go ahead and put you in the drawing and we will put everybody together, and maybe we'll let Woody from the computer, because that's the thing you can get with the names just run,
Oh yeah,
and yeah, and
wonderful.
then you tap and we'll let Woody, just
Oh,
pick out. And
perfect.
maybe I'll do a video of that so it'll look live to you guys, and that way you'll know who won. Okay? So thank you, Woody, so much for
Thank you
coming
so
on.
much, Aviyah,
All
and I'll
right.
chat to you soon.
Oh, we're going to see you soon. All right.
Cheers.
All right. So guys, that was good. That was good. I thank Woody so much for coming on. So don't forget, make sure your name gets in the drawing. Make sure your name gets in the drawing. Okay. And okay, my thing is moving slow here. And don't forget the charcoal class is coming up. And the fee for the charcoal class will be $20. But once you register for the class, you get a free T-shirt sent to you. Okay, you get a T-shirt sent to you, and you will get the a material that you can download, and that will tell you the techniques and everything. In other words, what you learn in the class, you're going to get a booklet downloaded, and it could be sent to your email address, and you can download it, and it's going to be your first little class of charcoal drawing. Okay, this is your first little booklet. You can refer back to it, and just have a nice time. Okay, looking forward. Don't forget, the last Friday of the month we have our live Zoom drawing, and that's going to be, as always, just fun, just fun. I see Pam's got charcoal class. Yes. So I'm gonna give you that date, and it'll be, because I got family coming in June, at the middle of June, so it will be before the middle of June. I guarantee you that. And guys, this was a wonderful time. It was an awesome hour. And thank you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. And so now I learned a lot. We know that figurative portraits is awesome, right? That's what it is. So some of us, let's get into that. Some of us may not be a portrait uh, artists in the, you understand what I'm saying with all the detail. There's so many ways that you can create, so many ways you can create. And if you have that knack, you want to draw, you want to be an artist, a painter, uh, there are ways that you can do that. Maybe your style isn't so what we would call so uptight, realistic art. Maybe that's not your style. Your style may be more illustrative or something, So don't give up. I'm saying don't give up. There are many styles, and I want to bring all of those styles to you, and hopefully you can see yourself in that. Okay, some of you are cartoonists, and you don't even know it. You're trying to be serious artists, but cartoon drawing is serious art. There's no art out here that does not take some type of skill, okay? But some of you have a natural skill for it, and you're trying to work in an arena of art that's not where you should be. You have to find your place, your niche. Whimsical art. Thank you, Pam. You have to find your niche in art, which is vast where it is. And like I say, some of your sculptors, whimsical art, some of your serious artists, abstract. Yes, yes, it's so many types of art. And so I will never stop sharing all of that with you guys. Okay, so it's about 2:31 now, and we've had a wonderful time. Thank you all for coming. I'll make sure your names are in the drawing for the free class with Woody. And thank you once again. This week was good. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. Be safe, be aware of your surroundings, and just hug and love your family and yourself. Okay? All right. So, Pam is still naming art. You guys can see it in the comments. Heuristic art. So, love you, and I will see you on Friday because I'm going to name the winner of the free art class. All right. Thank you so much for showing. You are valued, and I do thank you all so much. I appreciate your support and all of those good things. I'm getting in all of these notices here. All right. Love you.